It's Flag Day in Las Vegas as Cooper Flagg makes his Summer League debut. We'll preview tonight's game with special guest ESPN's Tim MacMahon coming up next on the DLLS Mavs podcast. Here we go. Hey, what's up, DLLS Mavs Nation? It's your man, Kevin Gray, alongside Mavericks beat writer Tim Cato, Mavericks analyst Bobby Carella, and special guest ESPN's Tim MacMahon. We are DLLS Mavs live from Westgate Superbook in Las Vegas, the #1 Superbook in Las Vegas, your home for legendary Vegas fun. It is Flag Day here in Las Vegas as Cooper Flagg will make his NBA debut with the Dallas Mavericks against Bronny James in the Los Angeles Lakers. We'll preview tonight's game. Plus, we'll get into a little bit more with ESPN's Tim MacMahon joining us here live at Westgate Superbook. Tim MacMahon, what's going on?
Howdy, partners. Listen, I like the shirts. You just gave me one of those blue ones. You got a shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
You got a shirt on. Are you not a company man? Are you not employed by DLLS? What is going on? I would make a comment about you wearing some hipster thing, but I don't want to get aggregated by your Stars pod.
I keep looking at your shirt, and I don't see an ESPN logo.
Damn.
Oh.
So I'm a little confused right now.
I've requested. They've got like the official like Summer League polos. I've requested one. I might not be high enough on the list to actually get one. We will see.
Who's highest on that list?
I don't know. I know McMiniman's got a few. He's doing a little sidelines. He's excited about it. Old Mac 10.
Man.
Thanks for hopping on our show.
He gets Luka one time, and all of a sudden he's more important than you.
That's right. He got Luka and it elevated his career.
And now we're doing that for you.
We're
building your
exactly.
profile right here.
I mean, he is a best-selling author these days, is Tim MacMahon. We're going to talk all things Cooper Flagg, though, today as the Dallas Mavericks will take on the Los Angeles Lakers, 5 p.m. Pacific time, boys and girls. That means 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for our folks back at home in Dallas, Texas. Let's talk about it. Obviously, it's well over 100 degrees. It's hot outside, but it's going to be hot inside Thomas and Mack tonight. Average courtside ticket, boys and girls, $2,500 tonight if you want to go see Cooper Flagg versus Bronny James. If you're trying to get in the lower bowl, about $650 will get you in. $200 overall average ticket price for tonight's game.
Worth it.
It's going to be worth it tonight. Tim, talk to me about this game tonight. Obviously, Cooper Flagg making his debut. What are you looking to see from Cooper Flagg as he takes on the Lakers?
You mean that Tim, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's Tim.
The important Tim. The same thing that Jay Kidd is looking to see, right? I mean, they're going to put the ball in his hands. They're basically going to say, hey, Cooper, run point, bring it up, create, facilitate, score, like run the show. And just very curious to see how he responds to that. As he said, he's facilitated before. He did a lot of that at Duke, but he wouldn't bring the ball at the floor. But this is the time, like, I don't care about the stats. Like, obviously, we'll all pay attention to him. But if he goes out and commits 10 turnovers, who cares? That's what Summer League is for. But this is the J. Kidd Giannis plan. And Giannis was a little bit older, but much more raw than Cooper Flagg. And it was very different circumstances in the sense of that was a rebuilding Bucks team. This is a obviously veteran-laden Mavericks team. But I am fascinated by the potential of point forward Cooper Flagg at 18 years old entering the NBA.
It kind of feels like they want to go into next season with Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg kind of as the two lead options. Is that the sense that you get as well?
Well, and
we'll see. But
look, obviously, D'Angelo Russell's going to get his shots up.
Yes.
Clay is, you don't want to have to put Clay in a position where he's got to create a lot on his own. He had to do way too much of that last year. But, yeah, I think Cooper Flagg, they're hoping that he can handle being kind of the primary guy in a point committee. D'Angelo Russell will handle some of that, but he's not being brought here to be the point guard. He's being brought here to be the fill-in lead guard, transition into a six-man role, hopefully, when Kyrie comes back. And this is a fascinating team because it's really right now it's AD's team, but the spotlight's more on Cooper Flagg, and it's a matter of time to when it will become Cooper Flagg's franchise. But I would say right now they revolve primarily around AD, and they're asking Cooper Flagg to do an awful lot for an 18. I mean, like really, tell me what 18-year-old has impacted winning in the NBA.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Dirk Nowitzki wasn't impacted winning in Germany's second division at 18.
Hey, the X-Rays made it to the top division, all right?
But you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's kind of a trick question because, like, obviously LeBron got drafted to a team. Typically, if you're the number 1 overall pick, the team stinks.
Yeah, you're going to a bad team.
Pretty unique circumstances.
Is this the best fit for a rookie since Tim Duncan with the San Antonio Spurs?
That's a good question, and I think a lot of that, like so much of the conversation about the Mavericks this year is based on the unknown, which is when does Kyrie come back? Can he get back to the form that he was in last year? If that happens, then we can talk about a whole bunch of things. The other thing is I think short term it's obviously a great fit for Cooper Flagg because he gets to jump right into playing competitive basketball, probably playoff basketball. It will be very interesting to see long term because typically when you're building around this kind of talent, this kind of prodigy, right, he's the first of 2 or 3 high lottery picks, and that's not going to be the case here. As a matter of fact, they're not going to have control of picks after this next draft for 4 years.
We saw that. Oh, just real quick, we saw that with Luka too. Obviously, the Mavs get him to add to Dennis, and their careers, their trajectories went in different directions. But he was supposed to be the first of many. They immediately trade a pick, obviously, to get him, and then they trade a couple more for KP. And KP didn't play that first season, and then he did. But then you're looking around; it's 3-4 years into Luka's career. And you're like, man, where's the talent? Like, where's the young guys? Where's the guys that match his timeline? It took them a while to finally build what we kind of consider to be the perfect team around him.
Well, and also they kind of
and then they made a move.
They had a lottery talent that was hiding, who was a second round pick that came in with Luka, but
he doesn't work here anymore either.
Yeah, but that conversation, like, oh my God, they got to find a co-star for Luka once the KP thing fizzled. It didn't. Brunson wasn't part of that conversation until pretty late in his last year in Dallas.
Yeah.
You asked the last time an 18-year-old made a winning impact. I think it's pretty clear that Cooper is NBA ready in a lot of ways. If they were to put him in a complementary role, if Kyrie was healthy, if Anthony Davis was playing the 4, maybe if PJ wasn't on the team, and basically if you ask Cooper Flagg to be PJ Washington, I don't think there's any doubt in my head that that's something that Cooper would be so good at from the jump. And he's going to be good in all those ways. What they are trying, from my perspective, is a little bit bolder.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we don't have Kyrie, and so we're going to get, a guy off the free agency market, not quite a minimum, but something near there. We're not going to go trade. We're not going to try to address this in a huge way because we think Cooper can be even more than that kind of slot and roll. So it's bold. And look, Cooper Flagg is the type of guy you try this with. It's a very unique situation, and this is a type of talent. This is a type of guy who it's worth making that gamble, and I think a lot of it starts with Vegas and how he responds to it now.
Yeah, Tim, in your estimation, are they making that bet on Cooper because they believe in him that much and they think that he can be that good, or are they doing it because they didn't want to trade Gafford, they didn't want to trade PJ, they want to keep all the size, all the bigs, all the big wings, and all that stuff, and play bully ball? Because the way I kind of view it is like they sort of settled for D'Lo on. I mean, it's a great value at the number that they got him at.
Yeah,
but they weren't very aggressive, at least I think, in the trade
weren't.
market and trying to upgrade meaningfully there.
No, and we'll see. Gafford's contract is obviously extraordinarily tradable. I anticipate PJ will sign an extension next month, and I think it's probably going to be at a number that he will be very tradable on. But Nico Harrison obviously wants to lean into having the biggest, most athletic, deepest front court in the NBA. And like I get wanting to hold on to Gafford at least until you have to pay Lively, or until Lively's extension kicks in, even because Lively's a great talent, but he's not been able to stay on the court consistently. Sure. So I get wanting to keep Gafford not just as an insurance policy, but as a tag team, and and a guy who might have to play 30+ minutes on a lot of nights. But you get back to the Flagg thing. I think they obviously think this guy is really, really good and ready. And look, some of these people were sitting in the gym. What was that? Was that last summer when Cooper Flagg came in and tore up the Team USA?
Team USA, yeah.
A bunch of future Hall of Famers, veteran future Hall of Famers, and playing for Team USA's select
including
squad.
Anthony Davis was on that squad,
and more than held his own in that game. He's not going to be intimidated by this, but they are going to be asking him to do stuff in the NBA that he's not done before. And when I talked to Jay Kidd, he comped Cooper Flagg to Grant Hill. Another Duke guy. Obviously, the guy, Jay Kidd knows him well. Shared the Rookie of the Year with him way back when. And Grant Hill came in and made signed him up. Oh, he's too cool for the DLLS shirts too.
He's got the exclusive hat. He's got the exclusive hat.
We got a Mark Stein who just
he's
walked
got
in.
the one-of-one exclusive hat.
For anybody who doesn't see him at a shot.
But Grant Hill came in and put up massive numbers right away. He was also 20-something years old.
Yeah.
And I think, what was he? Was he 3? Well, he might have even been 4 years at Duke.
Mm-hmm.
He came in, able to grow a full beard. I don't think Cooper Flagg can do that quite yet.
He's trying.
He's working on the goatee.
Trying
He's
so
working.
hard.
He's working on it right now.
Real quick,
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
mentioned Gafford. I did check in on that. There was some. It was noticed that his extension hasn't been signed. The Mavs say that there's nothing happening there. It's just due process that. So possibly, but I don't think the reason that Daniel Gafford's extension has not been officially announced is because there's a trade in the works imminently. At least that's what the Mavs are saying. The plan the whole time was to bring this roster back.
One glorious thing about the extension is the agreed to number is the most he can get and still be traded immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And not that's I'm not saying Daniel Gafford's getting moved this summer. I'm just saying it is within the realm of legal possibilities.
Yeah,
and that number could change a little bit based on cap projections and stuff.
Yeah. The team also says it wasn't signed to that percentage for them to trade him.
What a coincidence.
All of the team, right. That was my response as well.
Look, he earned
the
the
team
raise,
is posturing as
he
if
was good.
they want to keep it.
Yeah.
So
and
it's
look,
interesting.
Daniel Gafford, without doubt, is a quality starting caliber center, and that extension puts him. I forgot. I looked it up. It's somewhere 12th to 15th among centers in the league.
Yeah,
that's an appropriate number for him, especially considering they're
as a
gonna
backup
be,
though.
Well, and
That's the question.
and again, long term, we will see. But if they put him on the block on that contract, I think it will.
It's very attractive.
Yeah, he will have value.
Before we let you get out of here, two-part question when it comes to, obviously there's been a lot of change with this organization, particularly now on the coaching staff as well. Number one, the Knicks were clearly flirting with Jason Kidd. How close was that, if at all? And two, now that he's got his staff in place, what have you thought about the overall changes with the staff and who he has brought in now as far as what the staff looks like now?
I did not think it was the smoothest process in terms of some of the folks that went out the door.
Sure.
I know that Sean Sweeney's agent made nice and went on Sirius XM, talked about they made a yeoman's effort to keep him. I would say sometimes agents can be completely full of crap. But it's hard to sit here and be critical because they've got a good staff. Frank Vogel, I mean, come on, you put his resume up against any other assistant in the league. The guy's been a championship.
Any other head coach in the league?
He's been a championship head coach. He's had a lot of success as a head coach in this league. Bringing Popeye back. Jay Triano's also been a head coach. Phil Handy is there's a lot of similarities there with Shamgod in terms of the way they go about their job, the relationships that they have,
Kind of a like-for-like replacement.
right? The vibes that they bring. So,
Are they trying to cosplay the 2020 Lakers at this point? Based off the stats that they got?
There's one key figure missing, Tim. and we keep
There's 2 key figures missing. Don't you forget about Markieff Morris. Okay.
well, and Kyle Kuzma as well.
Markeith's available. He's my teammate now.
That's right. He is your teammate now. All the way down to the paying JaVale McGee part of it too, because the Mavericks are still paying JaVale
Still
McGee
here.
like the 2020 Lakers.
He's still here.
Paying JaVale McGee as well. What's your plans look like for today? Your coverage here, as far as your weekend with your boys at the Hoop Collective with Brian Windhorst and Tim Bontemps as well this weekend. What you got going on?
Yeah, we're about to head over to the arena. Now, it's Flag Day on ESPN. They got, I'll be yammering on the NBA Today and SportsCenter and all that, and then we'll actually watch the game. But yeah, tomorrow night, if
I didn't know that you guys did that.
Yeah,
I thought you just talked
do you
around
actually
it.
watch the game?
we'll at least scan the box scores.
Okay, there we go.
What are you talking about? The game is on our air. You're damn
That's right.
We're watching it.
Okay.
Friend of the show, Tim Legler, going to be calling the games
There you
tonight.
go.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow night, for folks that are in Vegas, you want to come check out the Hoop Collective live show. Wendy gets into his full like Jay Leno mode. He does like a monologue and stuff.
Oh wow.
He
Okay.
acts all grumpy, but then he gets into Jay.
We're going to have our
Leno
Letterman's
Are you gonna be in
jackets
the
this time
band,
around
or
again.
What are you doing?
No. I'm just part of. I guess we'll say Wendy gets into his Johnny Carson mode, and I'm Ed McMahon instead of. And 6:00 local time here at the Brad Garrett Comedy Club at MGM Grand.
Okay.
Comedy club.
You're going to be the
They're gonna be
least
jokes?
funny act that
Yeah.
has ever been on that stage.
Feel like that's appropriately cast, or
I will say they got a special guest coming themselves on their show.
oh yeah.
Yeah, Sixers head coach Nick Nurse is
Oh.
going to be on
You know who else we have?
Who's that?
And maybe your Rangers pod can jump on this. We got Alex Rodriguez coming on.
Really?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
New co-owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
You're going to ask him why he left the Rangers?
I'm going to grill him. How do you feel about that $252 million? Hey, fraud.
You can find him on X at ESPN_McMahon, friend of the DLLS Mavs podcast. He is, of course, best-selling author Tim McMahon. Good enough to join us here on the DLLS Mavs podcast. Tim, good to see you, man.
Always good to be Steiny's warm-up act.
Appreciate you, man.
Hey, thanks, Tim.
We're going to be joined here by our
See ya.
national NBA insider, Mark Stein, here in just a moment. Just as a reminder, we are live here at Westgate Superbook in Las Vegas, the #1 Superbook in Las Vegas. Of course, your home for legendary Vegas
Shot looks
fun.
so good.
Superbook
does.
has a
God.
state-of-the-art LED displays with over 4K resolution, 63.2 million pixels, and more than 4,200 square feet of digital space. Recently voted best Superbook in Las Vegas. That is where we are.
It is such a big. It's such a big place.
It is. It's incredibly beautiful. It's very nice. If you want to put down some money when it comes to some NBA futures, you can come do that at the best Superbook in Vegas. We are joined now by our national NBA insider. You can
Let's
find
go.
him on X at
Let's
the Steinline. He, of course, is the exclusive one-on-one DLLS hat-wearing Mark Stein. Mark, what's going on? Good to see you here in Vegas. How are you?
Guys, I am honestly, this is as excited as I've been to be at Summer League in I can't even remember how long.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally
You got Cooper fever?
I have DLLS fever.
Oh, let's go.
He's probably hot enough with the weather as it is already to
I
begin
normally
with.
come in. My routine in my old age has been to come in on Sunday and stay through Wednesday because the first few days are just chaos, as everyone will see tonight when this game happens. So I usually come in at the end, come in the middle. Adam Silver often has a press conference in week 2, so I like to be here for that. But obviously with Cooper here, we're here from the first dribble, and this is, I love a sports book, man. Even yesterday where I'm staying, I sat in the sports book by myself and wrote in a comfy sports book chair for an hour just because I just love the vibe. So
we were
the
posted
fact that,
up in here
the
for
fact that we
3
are
hours
doing
last
it, the
night.
fact that we are doing a show here, man, is tremendous. And
The shot. So, right behind Kevin
Mhm.
on the camera, you see 2 or 3 giant TVs, which is probably about 1/3. It is basically 180 degrees of sports,
Yeah.
and all of the big screens can also break up into smaller
screens, yeah.
It's last night, it was every single baseball game was on. There was tennis on. There was WNBA on. There was horse racing on. There was just a lot of stuff going on. There's restaurants and bars in here. It's a great place to hang out. Obviously, I don't know what the deal is if you're under 21, but if you're 21 and up, It's open to everyone. You don't got to be staying at the hotel to come check
I
it out.
badly wanted to bring my college freshman with me to be my assistant, but I was like, I don't think it's allowed.
Yeah.
Unless you're 21.
Just give it a few more years.
But how was MacMahon? How was my guy MacMahon?
He was good.
MacMahon
great.
MacMahon is one of my all-time favorite teammates.
He was surly as always.
And,
Yeah.
He's ready to go.
I knew Vegas wasn't big enough for the both of us, and now seeing the table, like it was good that I got tied up at the start of the show, so MacMahon could have his full run.
Yeah, we tried to set up the cozy chairs over there, but
It was about to have it real comfy in here, but
This is good.
I
This is
think-
good.
I think-
no, it's good.
This is good. This
We'll
is really good.
probably use the chairs at some point.
We will. I will
Yeah.
be sitting in the chair on camera
At some
sometime,
point, for
yeah,
sure.
maybe
Yeah.
even tonight.
He
Yeah.
might do a short
Look
or
how happy
something.
Tanner is. The fans, the audience, our loyal community.
When
cannot
Tanner's
see,
not eating
cannot
Lunchables
see
and
the-
Cheerios, he's a
cannot
happy
see the
camper,
absolute
okay?
glee on that young man's face to be out of the office and on the road.
We got him
Tanner
in the field working.
unleashed on the road.
I told you Tanner's going to be our MVP of this trip. So far, he has been the MVP of this trip so far.
He's
dealing with
fist
his-
pumping.
Did you guys
off
get along?
camera.
You all flew together?
Yeah,
We
And
did.
you all got along?
easy
Yep.
flight, seamless travel.
No incidents in security?
Oh no,
a
no
lot of
incidents.
chatter
No
from
arguments?
the people around us.
It was a lot of chatter for the people around
Like what?
us.
What happened?
Oh, nothing. It was
No,
just a
it's
lot
like-
of
yeah.
people
Hell
being
yeah.
real friendly.
An
Yeah.
exuberant flight. That's the thing. Like whenever you come to Vegas, like everyone is so happy to come here.
You
Even
talk to
this
people on
morning.
flights?
Oh, I
don't.
did not.
I'm not. A
I
talker,
did not.
no. I'm
I
not a
had my
flight
noise
talker,
canceling
no.
headphones on. I was vibing.
But
the
this
entire
morning, I was
time.
was looking at I was looking at some of the props. They put out a bunch of NBA futures, and they got every. I mean, it's a sports book, so every sport you can go bet on. And so I was just looking at it, and a guy came up to me, and he saw Tanner's wearing the DLS Mavs shirt. I got on my DLS thing, and he said, "Are you guys from Dallas?" I said, "Yeah," and he was like, "I am too." And I was like, "Oh no way!"
Let's
He said,
go.
"Yeah, I'm a Thunder fan." I was
Oh,
like,
no.
dude,
Oh, wait,
the-
what?
What
What?
what happened
No.
to you
No.
like earlier in your life? And I told him we're here with DLS. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I know, I've heard of y'all, and it's great." So we had a great conversation about basketball, about summer league, about who we're watching, who we're keeping an eye on, and stuff. It was great. Everyone here is just so happy to be here.
And we're excited to be here as well, as again, we are live here at Superbook Westgate. Of course, visit westgateresorts.com for your legendary Vegas fun. We got Mark Stein here live with us on the show. Cooper Flagg making his debut tonight, 5 p.m. Pacific time for us here, 7 o'clock back at home for the folks in DFW going to be watching.
Let's hoop!
I believe the game is on ESPN. Someone in the chat.
It
I
is
see
on
Rob in the
ESPN.
chat. Yeah,
Yep,
it's on
it is.
ESPN.
Yep, it's a doubleheader on ESPN. The game after that will be the Sixers and the Spurs that will be following the Lakers and the Mavericks. I know VJ Edge come for the Sixers, though. He's dealing with a thumb injury, so he won't be available. We'll see if Dylan Harper's playing for
See
the
that right there, Mark?
for the
See
Spurs.
that luggage?
Yeah, the luggage made it as well. We'll talk about that later. We want to keep Stein happy because
Can we please?
we're not going to talk about it right
Can
now.
a real gear sponsor set? We will shout you out maybe every segment. We cannot travel with that thing.
Find some
Our
official luggage.
credibility sails out, and then you guys tweet a picture of how bad it is. Like
I mean-
we are supposed to be a professional traveling
Outfit. We are.
digital operation.
We are.
We are.
and we got to use
you
the
see the setup.
Repstock
It's
family
legit.
suitcase.
That's right.
Unbelievable.
Well, let's talk about some stuff, man, because we're going to talk about some news with the Mavericks because it's been a real newsy last week and a half. Stein has been trolling me because when I found out through his reporting that Phil Handy was going to be joining the Mavericks, I definitely shot him a text like, I'm happy that Phil Handy's on his way to Dallas because I've admired his work for a long time. But there's been a lot of changes with the staff, and it feels like it's come together quite nicely despite the changes for Jason Kidd, with Phil Handy being the latest to join.
And
Jason-
Popeye Jones.
And Popeye Jones
Like,
as well, a fan favorite.
Yeah, Popeye. Like I when I heard that and confirmed that when it was able to report that, like I was already imagining what the ovation will be like for Popeye Jones at. Will it be the first open scrimmage that they do, or just the first exhibition game? But Popeye was a beloved Mavericks player, and his first season in Dallas, I believe, was the season before J. Kidd, when things were not going so swimmingly in the early '90s. So I mean, to have Popeye back, he is two playing stints here, right? I mean, he was on the 03
He was here a
conference
couple
finals
times.
team.
Yeah.
So
Franchise leader in offensive rebounds per game.
just tremendous guy. So like, look, I mean, you guys have heard me register this lament many times. There is no database for coaching changes, and it's really hard to track historically what happens in the coaching game, like even firings, resignations, like it's just that stuff is not in, it just hasn't been cataloged properly. I'm sure this has happened, but I don't remember the last time a team lost its 3 front of bench. Now, again, there's different scenarios. Last season, if you remember, Memphis, their front office made Taylor Jenkins change out his whole coaching staff. That happens. That certainly happens. I can't remember. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure it's happened. I just don't remember it. The last time all 3 front of bench coaches for a team, and they were all poached by other teams. They were all hired away in one offseason. So Sean Sweeney's in San Antonio. Jared Dudley is now in Denver. And Alex Jensen is at the University of Utah. He was at the Utah Summer League attending.
Was after the championship, or maybe 2 years after the championship, did Stotts and Dwayne Casey
did they leave at the same time?
summer?
Dwayne
or was it
Dwayne left
staggered?
right away. Stotts stuck around for one more year.
See?
Okay.
I
So
wouldn't,
not
I
quite,
wouldn't remember
but
that
close.
off the top of my head without looking at it.
Yeah.
But again, and then there's still one more seat. Like you
Right.
just don't see.
Sure.
It's rare that you see all 3 go. But to be able to bring in Frank Vogel and Jay Triano and now Popeye Jones, I mean, the Mavs did fantastically well here.
And not only is Popeye popular as a player, but whenever the news came that I don't remember what happened with Denver. I think whenever they hired Adelman, there was a bunch of changes with Denver too. But whenever it came out that Popeye wasn't going to be coming back, the DNVR Nugget show was not very happy about that. So I think he's a very popular guy in Denver as well.
Yeah, I mean, I hopefully we'll have Phil Handy on the show at some point. Hopefully I would love to have Popeye on to just tell more. I'd love to talk more about the 90s than the now. I would love to kind of review all that.
His signature belongs on the DLLS Sports wall.
So, and then obviously God Sham God leaves, and we talk about not just what he does as a coach with his player development expertise, but how close he is to Kyrie Irving. So to be able to bring in Phil Handy, who is also extremely close with Kyrie Irving, that was very important for the Mavericks. Mike Penberthy, who is very close to Anthony Davis, he is also coming onto the staff. And look, Jared Dudley, besides all of his coaching duties, he was really close with Anthony Davis. So there was a void there, and so now Penberthy comes in, someone very close to AD. Phil Handy is coming here, someone very close to Kyrie. And the Mavs had competition for Phil Handy. The Knicks were interested, and the Knicks are having a real tough time getting coaches who are attached to come into their program right now. They want the Knicks want Darvin Ham, and the Bucks are not letting Darvin Ham make a lateral move.
But because Doc Rivers handpicked Darvin Ham to come to his staff.
The Knicks want James Borrego. The Pelicans are not letting James Borrego go. Obviously, Jay Triano was Mike Brown's lead assistant in Sacramento last season, associate head coach, but the Mavericks just signed Jay Triano. So I think a lot of the natural contenders that Mike Brown would want for his Knicks staff are not available to him. So, yeah, I mean, it's been busy, and like I said, obviously I think everyone cares much, much more about player transactions and roster moves, but maybe it's just part of my age, but like a lot of these coaches, I've known them for so long too. I mean, and that is selfishly speaking, one of the more enjoyable things for me, that like players I covered and then they become like just even, Jason Kidd is the head coach. Like literally my first NBA draft that I covered was the Jason Kidd draft. So it's like, that's kind of a unique aspect of the job for me as I get older. So I'm always very into the coaching movements, because that carousel is something that really kind of I'm very interested in and intrigued by, and it's been wild and busy.
And everyone in the chat is asking about the strength and conditioning.
I was about
coach,
to just transition to that. I would say normally
Are we taking breaks, or are we just going?
No, we're just
we're just vibing.
taking breaks.
powering right through.
So late last night, I got word that Jeff Pulls from the Bulls, I think, and I hope I'm saying his name. I don't know that I'm saying his last name properly. So
Come on the show. Tell us how to pronounce your name.
I hope I am, but I like saying it like that because
It is Pulls, I believe.
It does.
And I'll tell you why in a sec.
It does kind of. It does.
What a tease!
It does rhyme nicely. So I did confirm that the Mavericks have hired him. He was the Bulls' head strength and conditioning coach. I'm still trying to find out if there will be more hires to the training staff. I do not know the answer to that yet. I do not know his exact title, but obviously Keith Belton was dismissed at the end of last season. So is he the one-for-one replacement for Keith Belton? That is still to be confirmed. All I know at this point is the Mavericks have hired him. I believe that's the case, but Johan Bilsbro is still the head of the department, and obviously they had an opening for a main head strength coach. You would imagine if his title is head strength and conditioning coach in Chicago, you've got to give him more of a title to get him here. But I think the specific announcement of titles is probably down the road, or maybe it will emerge if Tim or I can find out. But
and normally strength and conditioning coach news doesn't necessarily move the needle. But
right,
I think that just gives you an idea of.
Yeah, honestly, one of the main reasons that I felt the need to report it last night was because I remember the last time we did a show and I could see the chat questions. We were talking about coaches and people were asking me about that. So it's like, I know Mavs fans want to know everything.
Yeah, I mean,
so.
collectively, we are just begging for precedented times. I would love to not have to care about the training staff, but unfortunately, there's plenty of reason to have to care about that.
I went to Mav shoot around this morning, and leaving, I ran into somebody who works for the Chicago Bulls and gave a rave review about Jeff. Said he has great energy, is just a guy who's going to come in, and you'll notice him for just the personality and the energy that he has. So that's my very brief
scatter report
on incoming Jeff.
That's why I was giving Super Kev a hard time, because I report this last night at whatever time it was. It was late here, so it was, and we're all still on Dallas time, so it was later on our body clocks. And Super Kev
9:40 local time.
Super Kev digs out some clip from the Mavs' new hire where he found his strength coach philosophy. So
that's right.
I just had to.
I kind of forgot that it was low key midnight back at home when I tweeted it out at like 10 p.m. I was like, oh wait, nobody's up to see this. So
it gave me a chuckle. Super Kev does not.
If it's good content, it's gonna make its way out.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about hanging out in Sportsbook is that it's always like high noon here.
That's right. Exactly.
It doesn't matter what time it is outside.
We, of course, are live at Superbook Westgate here in Las Vegas. Visit westgateresorts.com, the must-see destination for sports fans. Of course, we are here for some legendary Vegas fun at Superbook Westgate. We are the official hotel of the DLLS Mavs podcast. Myself, Tim Cato, Bobby Curl, and our national NBA insider, Mark Stein. We are getting ready for tonight as Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks take on Bronny James and the Los Angeles Lakers tip-off at 5 p.m. at the Thomas & Mack Center, which is not too far from us where we are staying here in Las Vegas. We will be in the house for tonight's game. We'll have our post-game show after tonight's game as well. We'll have the exact time on that a little bit later on as we get ready for tonight's game as well.
No guest on that one.
Maybe.
Right.
Which
maybe?
one?
Maybe not.
On which one?
Post-game
On the
tonight.
post-game show.
But I think pretty much every other show we have lined up.
I mean, what do you mean?
Okay.
Of course I am.
Well, no, because you just said, I don't know.
No, guest. I was just
okay.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here for every show.
All right.
We have sports
tomorrow we're working on something really cool. It's not 100% in stone, but I feel reasonably confident it's going to happen. Saturday, I think, is just us, or do you guys have some kind of surprise?
We got a couple surprises up our sleeve.
And then Sunday, I'm working on another surprise. I hope, fingers crossed. I mean, it's always hard to. It's Vegas, man. You can't lock anything in.
Yeah.
But we're trying.
You could. Well, I locked in a couple things. Can I run down my?
Go ahead.
Lock.
All right, so I decided to lock in, put my money where my mouth is.
Oh, that kind of lock in.
All right, so I was looking.
This is the degenerate Corella segment here. On the
this
DLLS
is a
Mavs
different
podcast.
kind of Corellastration going on right now.
Yes, exactly.
So they got, we're at a wonderful sports book, so they got lines for everything, including NBA Summer League. And so I was checking, and I saw the Mavs were actually 4-point underdogs tonight as of yesterday morning or yesterday night. The Mavs were +4 and +145 to win against the Lakers tonight. So I said, all right, well, I'm going to be watching the game. I'm here. I can't bet on – I spent 10 years working for the team. You get, like, laser beamed if you even think about betting. Like, we had to take a gambling class every year. Like, it was a whole thing.
Don't do it.
Yeah, and, so I decided, hey, let's have some fun. So I put down $20 on the Mavs. Well, the line had already shifted people are waking up. People are catching Flagg fever.
You changed the line, is what you're saying.
I did. It's no longer plus 145 to win, folks. It's plus 135 to win. So I laid I locked in $20 on the Mavs to win tonight. So that is my big ticket. And then I also picked up. They're working on the team win totals over and under for win totals. And I know that recently it came out that one book had the Mavs, I think, at like 38.5 wins. That drew the ire of many Mavs fans. Now, it's important to say that this is Vegas we're talking about, and so they're trying to win money. So they're going to set the line to where half of the people take the over and half of the people take the under. So it's not just like some dude at a casino is like, I think the Mavs suck, LOL. I'm going to make it 30. No, it's like they're doing it so that they win. Now the Westgate hasn't released those yet. I believe they're going to come out while we're here. But they already do have NBA MVP odds.
Okay.
So I thought about looking at some of them. So the odds-on favorite, almost heavily so, is Jokic at 2-1. Now
I'm surprised SGA is not the leading favorite.
SGA is number 2 at 11-4. Here's some other ones I thought were pretty notable.
Also, he's the heavy favorite, 11-4. He's super heavy favorite.
No, Jokic is 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah,
Okay.
11-4 is almost 3. Yeah. Luka, 15-2, so that's 7.5 to 1, basically. Giannis and Ant, 8-1. Wemby, 14-1. I feel like that's pretty ambitious because I don't know how the Spurs are going to do in the standings. A couple that really caught
my Wemby.
It is Wemby.
Yeah.
He's going to put up
if it was
some
defensive player of the year,
numbers.
he'd probably be the odds-on favorite.
Oh, 100%.
Now, you do have to play 65 games for all these awards. And I remember that. A couple that really caught my eye. Jalen Brunson, 30-1, and Donovan Mitchell, 50-1. The East, remember, the Bucks, unclear what their record is going to be. The Pacers, obviously, with Halliburton out, they're going to take a step back. Boston, we kind of all assume, are going to take a big step back. So there could be a little bit of a vacuum there for one of those teams to win a lot of games. For the Mavs fans at home, there are 2 Mavs on the list. One is Anthony Davis at 100-1, and the other is Cooper Flagg at 1,000-1.
Cooper Flagg, 1,000-1 odds to win the MVP.
Never say never.
I'm not gonna lie though, the Jalen Brunson one is intriguing because if the East is not going to be very good, the Knicks should be the odds-on favorite to win the East.
It would be so weird. First off, it would be sad if Luka or Jalen, for Mavs fans, it would be sad if Luka or Jalen ever won an MVP because it'd be like, oh, what could have been? It'd be like Nash Part 2. But if Jalen won an MVP before Luka, that would be wild.
I could see it.
That would be wild.
I wonder what the win totals will be for the Knicks because I could imagine them winning 55 games and being the number 1 seed in the East.
Could be.
And Jalen Brunson being the spearhead of that team, getting the number 1 seed in the East. So 30-1, that's interesting.
I could also see it if Jokic and SGA and Luka all play fewer than 65 games.
There's that as well. That
is the new reality of the NBA.
Yeah.
Is that, I do actually find it, I think it's going to be one of those 3, for the next couple seasons in all likelihood.
Yeah.
Maybe Anthony Edwards, maybe Wemby.
Yeah, but you bang knees or land weird on an ankle, and that's it.
Yeah, it's 17 games. It's you miss a month, and all of a sudden you're out of the running by the NBA rules, and it's a situation where it is quite possible that somebody who maybe not, maybe he's not seen at the same level as Jokic and SGA, and we're talking like a half step down. But this is possible. It's absolutely possible.
Yeah.
By the way, the Lakers, if you're wondering who they're going to be running out for their Summer League squad tonight, some of the names that you may recognize, Darius Bazley, R.J. Davis, of course, Bronny James, Trey Jemison III, Dalton Connect is on this squad, Julian Reese, who is Angel Reese's brother, DJ Stewart, Cole Swider has been lighting it up in Summer League so far.
Their starting lineup in, I forget whether they're in Salt Lake City or I think they were in the Bay Area.
They did the California Classic.
Yeah, I think they did that one. But their starting lineup a couple games ago was Connect, Cole Swider, Trey Jemison III, which gave them some decent minutes in the regular season. Bronny James and DJ Stewart, and then Darius Bazley. I've seen some high praise from Istok Franco, in fact, about Darius Bazley, and he played 19 minutes off the bench a couple games ago for them. They have a guy named Sir Jabari Rice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Royalty.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
nice.
A knight.
I wonder if people just walk and say, hello, sir. He just goes, hello. that kind of thing. Cooper Flagg, Ryan Nembhard, Miles Kelly, Melvin Ajinca, some of the names that you will be looking at tonight for the Dallas Mavericks, of course.
Jamarian Sharp, of course, in there.
Jamarian Sharp.
That's right.
Musa Cisse, who
Musa
I believe the
Cisse.
Mavs announced. Now, they signed him to an Exhibit 10, which is a contract that gives you a little bit of guaranteed money. I think it's like $50,000 or something, so it's a little nice cash bonus, and then an invite to camp. And there is a mechanism in that contract that would essentially give the Mavs the ability to turn that into a two-way deal if they want to, and then if not, unless another team offers him a two-way contract, then his rights would become the Texas Legends. And they do that with pretty much everyone they invite to camp that's not on a two-way deal. So right now they have
every team in the league. This is how NBA teams sign players to come to camp.
Yeah. And so there's the Mavs currently have 16 players. They will eventually have 15. And then they'll bring in two-way guys unless they see someone out here that they really like. Then they'll bring 3 two-way guys, and the rest will be E10s. So there will be like press releases and social posts and stuff, but it just means they're getting a camp invite, and they might get a two-way deal. And Musa Cisse is one of them.
How many points do you think Cooper Flagg's dropping tonight?
How many
I
minutes?
don't- he's the best player on the court.
Drop me a
so-
stat line for Cooper Flagg tonight.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on how many minutes he plays, but I bet he's going to put up 10, 15 shots. Like, he could get 20 points maybe.
He's going to be the number one option for the team, for sure.
I mean, he's the best player on the floor. He's probably the best player in the tournament or in Vegas right now, right?
That's available to
no,
play.
Reed Shepherd is playing for Houston.
I'm going to
Dude.
soon as Tanner turns the camera off.
Dude.
All right, it's going
you gotta
down.
you got to let it go. VJ Edgecombe has been has been
just
good.
watch.
He's been-
What's with him and Reed Shepherd?
He's the president of the Reed Shepherd fan
Is
club.
Danny Wolf playing?
Danny Wolf sitting right here. What are you talking about? He's right here.
Eventually.
He's literally right here.
I am
Eventually.
not Danny Wolf. We have very different origin stories.
Eventually, it's going to happen.
I'm going to go
different heights. as
Already
well.
in talks with the Nets.
Yeah, I'm
It's
taller.
going to happen somehow.
I'm going to go 15, 7, and 4 for Cooper Flagg.
What's the 7?
7 boards?
How many
Okay.
minutes?
Yeah, in 20
22?
minutes. 20. I'll go 22 minutes. 22 minutes for Cooper Flagg.
I think he plays 29 minutes, 29 or 30.
29 or
Let's
30.
go. Let's
If-
go.
if-
Let's
if
go.
These are
only-
40-minute games. These are 40-minute games.
Like the Mavericks haven't officially said he's only playing 2 games, but the working assumption he's probably going to play 2 games.
Mhm.
Run him out there 30 minutes. Get the most out of it. So, yeah, I think he plays 30 minutes. I think he, if he needs to play 32, sure, why not? Probably 30. Probably like 28 to 30. I think he cracks 20 points.
If Miles
I went
Kelly's lighting it up from the 3-point line, he might get 6, 7 assists tonight because Miles Kelly can shoot the hell out of the basketball.
I think
So-
he gets. I think for sure he gets 5 blocks. Summer League
blocks?
is a
God.
5 blocks.
Summer
Five
League
blocks.
is
Is there a prop
perfect.
bet for blocks for Cooper Flagg
Yeah.
tonight?
Probably, honestly.
Jeez, 5 blocks. That's well.
Yeah, I was gonna say steals. Like, there's always each team ends up with like 37 steals somehow.
So one of the interesting things about Summer League, if you don't know, is that each player gets 10 fouls in Summer League play. So unless you're just completely abysmal, you'll see these players not foul out of these games because they do get 10 fouls.
I have seen a player foul out of summer league before.
it happened like last week.
Really?
Yeah. I'd have to go look up who it
Player
was,
got
but
10
in
fouls? Wow.
either the California or the Salt Lake City.
Jeez,
Wow.
man.
Good for them.
Yeah, there was a player that fouled out.
You
Wow.
got to be active to make that.
You, I was
Like
say, you have
10
to be
minutes.
real active with the hands.
Is the
Yeah.
the Mavs game tonight? Is that the first one of summer league?
no?
No, there's games starting at like 2:30, 3.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
the first of the doubleheader that ESPN is broadcasting tonight
Yes.
with the Mavericks and the Lakers and the Sixers and the Spurs following that game. Friend of the show, Tim Legler, going to be on the call for the games tonight at Thomas and Max. So interested to watch.
And if you're going to be at the game, especially if you have a GA seat, get there early.
Get there early. Yes, it's already well into the triple digits here in Las Vegas. So make sure if you're out here, stay hydrated because it's going to be hot over the next several days here in Las Vegas. Of course, we are live here at Superbook Westgate here in Las Vegas, your home for legendary Vegas fun, located, of course, at Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino, the #1 Superbook in Las Vegas. Make sure you visit westgateresorts.com for your legendary fun as we have gone through some of the odds for NBA MVP as we get ready for tonight's game. Mark Stein with us here as well on the show on the DLLS Mavs podcast. Before we get to some more about tonight's game, obviously we've seen some transactions as well taking place as the reigning NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder have been busy doling out cash along with the Phoenix Suns as well. You had been the first to report that Devin Booker was on his way to a massive 2-year extension. That is now a 2-year, $145 million extension for Devin Booker.
And honestly, I think the number's hard to pinpoint because we don't know exactly where the cap's going to be. But I mean, he's going to get the max, and it's looking like it's going to be
well over 70 million.
70, and again, that's a percentage of the cap.
Yeah,
the cap is going to go up, but it's it's not going up as much as everybody hoped, and I think that is a cause for concern around the league. And I think teams are still kind of doing the math on
interesting
what that actually means if it's only a 7% bump in the cap next year as opposed to the max 10%. I mean, the Suns have had a lot going on. I mean, and our guy Espo's here from PHNX.
Mm-hmm. Our folks from Philly are also here as well, part of the All-City Network. They're going to be coming on right after us here.
I think the Suns have done okay. I mean, they obviously on Durant, they didn't get anywhere near in return what they gave up for him, but they.
Is the Bradley Beal thing? Where are we at with the Bradley Beal situation?
The working assumption in the league is that he is going to get bought out, and he's just choosing his team. And there's a bunch, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Bucks, the Warriors, the Wolves. Those are all confirmed interested suitors in Beal. He can go to any of those teams, but in any of those places, it's only going to be minimum to taxpayer mid-level range. So we're talking like $3.5 to $5.7 million for a season. It's going to be something like that.
Which is still a bargain. I know his reputation is in the gutter or whatever, but a player like that at that rate is insane.
So here's what the missing kind of piece on this is: if the Suns want to waive and stretch him like we saw the Bucks do with Damian Lillard, Beal has to give back $14 million. He has to be willing to take a buyout that's $96, $97 million, give back $14 million. The places he's going to go, he's not going to make back $14 million this season. And typically when you see buyout deals, usually the buyout amount is what the player can recover from his next team because they're trying to stay whole. In Beal's case, I don't really think it's possible in year one to make himself whole. So is that part of the holdup? That is speculation. That is, educated NBA guesswork. I mean, I have not been able to confirm / account for why it is taking so long. All those teams are interested. All those teams would love to add him. But basically, he's got to pick the destination first, and then the Suns can go through with the actual buyout. And we'll have to see, is it going to be a wave and stretch over 5 years, or will they just buy him out at some other figure? But yeah, on the outside, you sit there and you look at it and say, $97 million as a buyout and the chance to pick my team doesn't sound like the worst arrangement in the world.
Yeah, five seasons ago, Bradley Beal averaged 31.3 points, made the All-NBA third team. He's not that player anymore. He still averaged 17 last year. He shot 50% from the field, 39%. He was 60% true shooting. That is
getting
quite
that guy in the minimums should be illegal.
Yeah, or some people
that
are
just
looking.
shows how bad it worked out in Phoenix.
Yeah, and some people, like I believe the Clippers still have the the taxpayers mid-level available
for him.
him.
Have a little more than $5 million to offer. So, and the Clippers have really managed their cap situation well. So what a lot of people wonder is, will the Clippers try to sign both Beal and Chris Paul? Jake Fisher and I, we reported on June 29th on free agency eve that the Suns and the Clippers were the two most likely destinations for Chris Paul because he's been adamant he wants to play as close to LA as possible. So the question is going to be, are one of those teams, both of which have had Chris Paul on their team before, where is the reunion going to happen? So do the Clippers sign Beal and Chris Paul, which they can afford, or do the Suns, who've been signaling that they really want a veteran point guard, does Chris Paul go back to the Suns? I think everyone knows he has a really strong relationship with Devin Booker. They co-led the Suns to only the third NBA Finals appearance in their franchise history in 2021. The Suns are on that.
Does he want to play for a first-year head coach for a team that's not necessarily close to winning a championship? I would imagine he's trying to get that elusive title before he gets
getting it with the Clippers.
But I think.
I mean,
we also
The Clippers make so much more sense.
They make a lot more sense.
Is it all about Chris Paul's wants and desires here? The team, it's harder to account for exactly what the team wants. The Clippers are not going to announce, yes, our plan is to sign them both. Like, they're either going to do it or they're not going to do it. The Clippers are not going to trumpet this to the world. So we don't exactly know. The Clippers, both the Clippers and the Suns are interested in bringing Chris Paul back, and there's been talks for sure. But which of those two teams is the most motivated to do it, I think, is still somewhat of an open question. And I know everyone gets impatient, but we don't need everything in free agency to happen by July 3rd. Like, to me, it's not terrible that we still have some question marks and some things to track, but I know everybody wants answers yesterday.
Including the guy that might be courtside tonight.
Where
are we on that?
LeBron James.
Coming to the game?
LeBron.
I feel pretty safe in predicting he'll be at the game.
What, did you not hear how pricey the tickets are getting?
I think someone will cover it for him.
I think
he
he'll
is
be
famously
okay.
a frugal man.
I think he'll be okay.
I
think there's gonna be a lot of star power tonight.
I'm gonna go out on a pretty sturdy limb and say that LeBron James is gonna be there tonight.
But yeah, what I'll say about just the ongoing that there is still stuff going on that we're still waiting to see what exactly plays out with Chris Paul and Bradley Beal. There's two schools of thoughts about how you should go about an offseason. And I think most teams prefer to do their business early. And yeah, I think that if Dallas just in a vacuum, if Dallas had the option between D'Angelo Russell and Bradley Beal, I think Bradley Beal is the better player right now. But that's not how it works necessarily. And there's a lot of value in making sure you just know that you're going to get a player, like this could easily.
You can't wait. I mean, the Mavs could not wait on him, maybe.
That's exactly the thing. It's not a situation where, yes, Bradley Beal may be a better player, but if you waited this out, D'Angelo Russell would have gone and signed somewhere else. Like, a big reason why you were able to sign D'Angelo Russell to the taxpayers mid-level is because that commitment came very early. The franchise said, we want you as our guy. And free agency, free agents also really appreciate that. When you see a free agent often signing for less than they could want, it's because they feel the situation is good for them and they feel the team wants them and wants them in that situation.
Yeah, the first part matters a lot, though, too, because this
Bruce
might
Brown
not,
in Denver is another example
case,
at the
but
minimum.
If I had to guess, the Mavs were the only team, certainly in that price range, that was offering D'Lo a starting job.
Right.
Now, I don't know that they actually literally said you were going to start, but if I'm D'Angelo Russell and I look at the Mavs roster,
you're going to start.
Yeah, you're going to
start.
It's yours to lose, at least, I would think, out of the gate.
We saw D'Angelo Russell post on his YouTube channel over the last few days the conversation that he had with Nico Harrison upon signing with the Dallas Mavericks, with Nico Harrison saying, quote, "I'm so excited. You really fit what we're trying to do." D'Angelo Russell responding, "I like me with a chip on my shoulder," with Nico responding, "I like you with a chip on your shoulder. It's about to be a problem," in quotes. Problem, of course, being a good thing when it comes to the expectations for D'Angelo Russell, just in case the boys and girls weren't necessarily. Actually, that was really from Mark.
Don't quite know why D'Angelo Russell should have a chip on his shoulder necessarily, but
I mean, I think he's in a contract year, kind of. I mean, if this goes well for D'Angelo Russell, he should not be here next year. Like, he should be able to find a place to be able to get him some more money to continue. I mean, he's only 20.
I see it that way.
He's only 29.
I don't know. And SJ Basketball 8, great follow on Twitter. She knows NBA and WNBA
inside and out.
Yeah. Both leagues.
We'll forgive her
awesome.
for being a Liberty fan, but that's another conversation.
Well, she lives there.
Yes, that's true.
She is.
Are you not a fan of Liberty?
I am a fan of Liberty. Just not.
Yeah, I thought we just celebrated that like a few days ago.
Just not New York.
Unbelievable.
Just not New York.
But she is noticed in particular, and this is, I mean, she's just very openly kind of talking about this throughout free agency. But it is interesting. If you're a guard that you just kind of score and that's all you do, league is kind of passing you by, man.
Yeah.
Like, D'Lo's got some size. He's 6'4", 6'5", whereas some guards like him are more like 6'1", 6'2". You got to be able to defend. Like, Anthony Simons got traded for Drew Holiday. Drew's medicals were not great.
A little iffy.
And so, the Blazers initially had to give 2 seconds along with Simons to get off of him and to get Drew, who was a contract that we all kind of viewed as negative. And the Celtics are apparently trying to trade Simons right now to no avail. And there are a lot of other guards that are either small or that don't play defense or that all they do is just get buckets, that are unemployed or that are signing for the taxpayer mid-level, that have chips on their shoulders. It's real, it's one thing for me to say that I don't really like small guards that only get buckets. It's another thing for the league to say that. Size matters, and I don't just mean interior size. I mean perimeter size, perimeter length, perimeter defense matters. Getting buckets does matter, but you have to be able to do a little bit of everything. If you're under 6'8", that's the way it is.
In the old NBA, it used to be really hard to score 20 points a game. There are so many players in today's NBA that are capable of scoring 20. The question is not whether you can score 20, because you can go get any player you want. Not literally, but there are so many great scoring talents out there.
Dude, look at Brandon Williams, plucked out of the G League and averaged 15 a game, and all of a sudden looks legit.
The question is, what else do you bring?
Mm-hmm.
Because just getting 20 from your starting point guard, because he's going to be taking 20 shots a game, can you do it efficiently? Can you set up an offense? Can you run an efficient offense? Can you defend? Can you bring more than just the scoring?
Or at minimum, not be a traffic cone on defense. D'Angelo just cannot be that on defense.
Like in today's NBA, even the worst offense scores 100 points. Like they average what was it last season? Probably
probably close to 110 if I had to guess.
about 110 points per 100 possessions. 10, 15 years ago, that the best offense was 108 points per 100 possessions.
The league average is 114 points per game last year.
Yeah. And a few seasons ago, that would have been. In fact, when the Mavericks were the 14-15 Mavericks were on pace to break a league record, that was about what they were averaging.
They were 109.
Was it that low?
Yeah.
So
the
it's
team
completely changed.
5 years later, whenever they set the offensive rating record, the Mavs, the 1920 bubble Mavs, had the highest offensive rating of all time at 115.9, record-setting.
Yeah.
Last year, the average NBA offense, 114.5.
Yeah.
Goodness. Yeah, offenses are incredible these days in the league. I think for D'Angelo Russell, can he facilitate? Can he score, as Tim mentioned, efficiently? He's got a lot of familiarity around him, of course, with Anthony Davis and others that he'll be playing with, and also his coaching staff he's fairly familiar with as well. And the Mavericks believe that this is the guy that could stem the tide for them until Kyrie Irving comes back, and not only do that, but also play alongside Kyrie Irving once he does come back from the torn ACL. Obviously, that remains to be seen once Kyrie does come back. But for now, D'Angelo Russell is going to be the guy at PG for the Dallas Mavericks.
And this, again, it's not to say that he sucks or whatever. It's just I appreciate, as someone that's going to watch this team and that wants this team to succeed, I appreciate that every player on the team feels like they're either underpaid or slept on or whatever. You have to have real or imaginary motivation, like that. Even Michael Jordan pretended that players said some stuff to
because Loki, this could be it for D'Angelo Russell. If this doesn't go well for him,
it could be.
This could be
it. Well, not out of the league, but certainly not $10-15 million or whatever. So good. Have the motivation, embrace it, work your ass off, have the best season of your career. That would be great for him. That'd be great for the team. That'd be great for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is, it's really, really tough in the league right now if you're a guard that scores.
Cam Thomas is finding that out with the Brooklyn Nets right now.
Yeah,
trying to get paid.
It's just tough, man. It's really, really tough. That will eventually change because 5 years ago, if you were a 7-footer, hey, I got this nice cozy seat for you on the bench. You can just sit there. But now, a bunch of tall dudes are out there playing. So it is cyclical and changes and everything.
I have a little bit I can say about that at some near point.
Huh, interesting.
Well, hang on to that. Hang on to that. That'll do it for us here on the DLLS Mavs podcast, live here from Superbook
First
Westgate.
of a doubleheader.
That's right. We'll be back later
Have we ever
on
had a
this evening.
doubleheader?
What, for shows?
Same day?
Pre and post game.
Pre and post game shows.
Nah, but that's different.
Emergency pods.
Emergency pods.
We have finished a free agency show, and then 20 minutes later,
literally did
got
a
back
show.
in the same seats.
Yes.
So,
speaking of D'Angelo Russell.
Well, that was when I was locked in my dungeon, so
That's right.
I wasn't there.
Where are you going to be watching the game tonight?
I haven't figured it out yet.
Okay.
You could come join Tanner and me at the beautiful Westgate Sportsbook.
I think that's more likely because I think I'm gonna stay with you guys, and
So me and Tim, we're just going to go to the game ourselves?
you and Tim go to the game, And sources say I'm just going to be blowing up people inside the gym.
Will Stein quit texting me at this point? Tanner says it's time for us to go. We're going to go. We appreciate you hanging out with us here.
Should we do what Tanner says?
No, yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Sorry, Tanner.
That's
God,
right. We really got to go.
Jeez.
That'll do it for us here on the DLLS Mavs podcast. We will have the time for our postgame show a little later on. Make sure you're following DLLS_Mavs to know exactly what we will be doing going live after Cooper Flagg makes his debut tonight against the Los Angeles Lakers. We appreciate our guest, ESPN's Tim MacMahon, for joining us throughout the course of our show as well here on the show today. Kevin Gray, Tim Cato, Bobby Curl, that's our National Media Insider, Mark Stein. We are DLLS Mavs. We'll talk to you later on tonight after the Mavericks take on the Lakers here in Las Vegas. Y'all be good.
Back soon.
Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.